What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panthers Pride TV, your one-stop shop on your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Thursday to all of y'all. Hope y'all are having a great day. Hope everything's going smooth. It's Thursday, right? Yep, it is Thursday, so I had to make sure that days are running together, man. But, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into today's docket. A few things here that I do want to talk about. Number one, first thing that I do want to discuss is apparently Trevin Wallace is already out for Sunday's game, man.
Nani?
Yep, so Coach Canales announced that Wallace will not play on Sunday. He is listed as week to week, and that Claudin Shirless is expected to step into his place, which to me, honestly, is a pretty decisive blow. Or not even decisive. It hurts. It's a significant blow. I won't say it's going to make or break everything, but that does hurt because, in my opinion, Wallace has come into his own this season, especially since taking over as the defensive play caller. Our defense has seemed to be in a much better rhythm, a much better flow, and our front seven, quite honestly, they've been doing their thing. Roseboom will go back to taking over the play calls, but it's just one of those things where you hate to see it because that seems like the catalyst for our whole team. We start getting in a rhythm, we start getting in a flow, and then somebody gets injured, somebody gets hurt, somebody has to sit out a week, and so that disrupts the flow. We've seen it with our offensive line. We've seen it with our receiving core. We've seen it with, honestly, our quarterbacks. We've seen it with our running backs. So it's the only place we probably haven't seen it is in the secondary. But even then, Lathan Ransom, they said he's probably out for Sunday due to a hand surgery. So Lathan being out kind of hurts the secondary in that aspect. And I'm like, dang. Health has really been killing us, and that's why a few videos ago, about a few weeks ago, I was saying one of the things that I really have been looking into or just kind of noticing is the rate at which our players get hurt, and I think that just may be due to the resources our medical staff have available to them, but they do get them out fairly quickly, and also it could just be due to the nature of the game, the nature of these fields, so on and so forth. It's been happening all over the place. I think a lot of teams are actually suffering from a lot of different injuries at really weird times. And quite frankly, it's just like, bro, what is going on? Where's the issue? What is the common denominator that's leading to this? However, for those of you who don't know, it is official. Trevin Wallace will not be playing. So if you're looking for number 32 on defense and you're wondering why he's not out there, that is the reason being. It's because that shoulder injury that he has been aggravated once again, and they've already said he's week to week, and he's not going out on Sunday. So I'm bummed about that, especially versus Atlanta, because they are a division opponent, and this is going to be one of those games where we need everybody, and it sucks, man. It sucks. And speaking of Atlanta, the other aspect that we have to look at, man, is Atlanta's most versatile star. Atlanta has one player that can do it on both ends on offense, and we have to look at him, and that is none other than Bijan Robinson. I almost said B.J. Robinson. Sorry about that. But Bijan Robinson is a bona fide star for Atlanta. He helps make that offense go. When he gets going, problems start happening. That opens up a lot of their offense. And it opens up a lot of what they do. This season, I mean, relatively quiet in a sense. Bijan has 135 carries, 679 rushing yards, and 2 rushing TDs. He also has 467 receiving yards and 2 TDs. So based off this season, he's kind of quiet. However, in 2 of the 3 games they've won, Bijan's gone for 140 rushing yards. And in the other game that they won, he went for 106, I want to say, receiving yards. So when Bijan's putting up numbers like that, he's a problem. When he's putting up numbers like that, Atlanta tends to win. Slowing him down is going to be a key on Sunday. I don't think any of us need to say that, but for the Carolina Panthers, if any of them are watching this, any player on that team is watching this, I will reiterate. Slow down Bijan Robinson. Coach Canales, Aviro, that goes for y'all too. I don't know what has to be said. Slow down that man. And then in the secondary, please, do not let Drake London start going off. Please don't let Drake London start going off. And I might talk more about him tomorrow because him and Penix have really started to find a rhythm and a flow over the last few weeks. But first things first, do not let Bijan Robinson get going. Because one, Atlanta hasn't been utilizing the run game as best as they could this entire season. And I genuinely think if you slow down Bijan, they're not going to use Algier the way they should be using them. And they're just going to abandon the way they do their run game. Kind of similar to how a good amount of Panther fans think we do with our run game. It's like, okay, we just completely abandon it. And I can't say they're wrong in that statement. But slowing down Bijan is one of the key factors heading into Sunday. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot let Bijan Robinson go off and have a great day, or else it's going to get dirty, and it's going to look bad. And speaking of dirty and bad, the third thing I do want to talk about is apparently there's some issues with, I guess some players are airing out dirty laundry. Now, rookie Nick Scorton spoke on after Sunday's loss, and he did say that he thinks one thing that contributed to the Saints' loss is that he feels going into the week of practice and just the preparation that the team may have executed or the team may have taken the Saints too lightly. They executed practice on a lighter note. They didn't. He thinks they may have just taken the Saints too lightly, hence why they got beaten the way they did. He's like, also, I haven't been here long, so I don't know, but I think that may have contributed to it. Now, Coach Canales, apparently he had something to say about that. And they asked him about his comment about Scorton's comments and things of that nature. And he's like, hey, it's a learning opportunity to say, okay, for our guys, speak for your own performance. If you want to make a general comment about, hey, when we lose, we're upset, we're disappointed. But the specific part of it that we can do a better job of just keeping those things within us and stuff that we talk about. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think Scorton was out of line, and I don't think he was airing out any dirty laundry per se, because he was just giving his honest opinion like, hey, I think we might have taken them too lightly, which is potentially the case. A lot of us feel that way. A lot of us thought that during the game. And I don't think that's airing out any dirty laundry. To me, airing out dirty laundry is saying, oh, certain players didn't take this game seriously. Certain players were being lackadaisical in practice. Certain players on defense weren't in film. That's airing out dirty laundry. But to say we as a collective, including himself, may have taken that team too lightly is just saying we did this. We failed, we messed up, because he's including himself in that realm. He's not pointing at specific players who didn't show up or didn't take this game seriously. You get what I'm saying? So to me, I don't think that's airing out dirty laundry. I get Canales wanting to keep things close house and not wanting to cause a rift or any issues within the team. But that's just my personal viewpoint. I don't think that was airing out dirty laundry in my humble opinion. And then next, going to the Panther freeze frame of the day, and it's this shot of Jalen Coker getting some work in at practice yesterday. And the reason why I chose this shot is because we haven't seen as much of Coker as we'd like to since he's come back. I would like to see him get utilized more. I think he's ready to be utilized more, but also he may be getting back into the flow of things. And plus, we haven't done enough play calling and things of that nature to really get him involved in things of that nature. So I think it's only a matter of time. Kirker's going to find his footing. Bryce is going to start finding him more and more, and it's going to work out. I'm going to speak that into existence. But I just thought this was a good little shot on a fall afternoon and just getting this work in and whatnot. So that's just me. But now it is time for y'all. Favorites, it's time for a Panther Nation. Hold up 1 second. There we go. Time for Panther Nation to speak your truth. And that's where I read your comments, man, and just see what y'all had to say. And first comment comes from, make sure. Yep. First comment comes from Randy Thurman, 1598. He says, bruh, I may be wrong, and I hope I am, but Bryce will give Carolina fans false hope for the next 4 to 5 years. We will win just enough games to have us hopeful for the next year, and the next year, same old team. For me, it's not Bryce personally. I have a problem with short QBs in this league. I can see where you're there. I can see where you can come to that summarization. However, I also think it's one of those things because none of us know the future. We can't say this is necessarily a trend due to the fact that we've been increasing in wins each year that Bryce has been the quarterback. But I can see where you may come to that summarization and come to that like thought process of, man, he gives us hope, but we might not always get there. And then to follow that up, I would say, what is your issue with short quarterbacks and define short? Like what constitutes as a short quarterback to you? Is it anybody under 6'3"? Is it 6 feet and below? Is it 6'1" and below? What constitutes as a short quarterback? Because a lot of people would say Lamar is short, Russell's short, Drew Brees was short, Kyler's definitely short, Bryce is definitely short. So that's what I'm saying. What constitutes as a short quarterback, and then why do you have an issue with short quarterbacks per se? That's all I would ask. Next comes from Retro Big Cat 75. My man says, it seems that you're the only Carolina Panthers fan / YouTuber who looks at all sides, not look at one side and trash Bryce 24/7. At the 9:34 mark, I agree, and that's why I stay away from Carolina Panthers fan base. Do I have my issues with the team? Yes, but to pray the downfall to prove one's point is next level crazy. Like I said, man, when I saw that dude literally said he'd been praying for that for 3 years, to me that just doesn't make you a fan anymore. You really want the fan base to suffer just so you can prove a point. That's wild to me. And I try my best to look at all sides, because even in the Arizona game, if you go back to my personal YouTube and watch my reaction to the Arizona Cardinals game, I admit Bryce put us down early. Bryce put us down early with those 2 bad turnovers. I've 100% held him accountable for that. How he bounced back, I give him credit for, because it's easy to just quit when you give away 2 bad turnovers. It's easy to just quit when you have momentum and you just give it away, and now you got to fight your way and claw your way back. So that's why I genuinely don't care. Not even don't care. I have a bigger issue with turnovers late when we have the game on the line or is getting close to the end of the game, as opposed to turnovers early. Turnovers early you can always come back from. A turnover late you can't. Like the Jimmy Horn fumble, that was a huge missed opportunity. That was a huge missed opportunity, and that kind of was the momentum killer in my eyes. But, hey, I get what you're saying, man, and, yeah, praying on the downfall was kind of crazy in my eyes. And last one comes from the Grunton Bear. He says, I like the last viewer comments take about expectations. I get what you're saying, though. I do think some of the free agent signings we did in the offseason, plus DB and others getting healthy for the year, I think it warranted the hype that we, or maybe just I, surrounded the team with in the preseason. Playoffs still aren't out of the realm of possibility. If you don't believe that, did you move here from, like, New York or something? That's my biggest thing. And I firmly, one, I've told y'all, I still think playoffs are in the realm of possibility. And if you don't think that it's possible, or you don't even want to consider that notion, you're like, we're not making the playoffs if ands or buts just because we lost to the Saints. I guess in that same retrospect, the Packers shouldn't make the playoffs. Or flipping, Buffalo shouldn't make the playoffs because they lost to the Falcons, right? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense that when a top team loses to a bottom team, that, oh, you're not making the playoffs. So I get what you're saying, though, because the signings and the people coming back healthy, it's like, yeah, that warrants some optimism. I was one of those optimistic individuals. I'm still an optimistic individual. So that's where I'll stand on that, man. But listen, with all that being said, that's all I have for today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know, what are your thoughts on Trayvon Wallace being out and Claudin Shirley's now coming into the game? Do you think stopping Bijan is going to be the key to beating Atlanta, or do you think it may be somebody else? And lastly, did you think that Scourton was airing out dirty laundry, or did you think his comments were warranted and Canales maybe slightly overreacted? Let me know in the comment section below, and everything else, because at the end of the day, y'all know the deal. What do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with two tats. And also, if you want to see more of my other videos, follow me at Tornado McRae on YouTube. That's my personal video channel where I have more Carolina Panthers content and a bunch of other content. But with that being said, guys, hey, I've already said my slogan, so peace, much love to all you. Take care, Panther Nation. Later days, and keep pounding. I'll see y'all next time.